Hi everybody! I'm here. I'm a little bit late. Sorry about that. 4 minutes late. Welcome to the art club. If this is your first time, my name is Michelle and I love drawing. And since we're all shut in together, I thought, what better opportunity than to do some drawing tutorials live. And I'm sorry about this setup if it starts to fall a little bit, because I again had to duct tape my phone to this phone holder because it's not made for this phone that I have right now. All right, so hopefully you have paper. Hopefully you have just a regular kind of a pencil, like a number 2 pencil. If you have fancy art pencils, that's even better, but I don't. I'm just using regular pencils. And if you have a Q-tip, this is going to help you a lot with the smudging portion, and an eraser is a good idea. I have these kind. You can also just use the back of the pencil. And this one is the same as this one. This one is just really tiny, which is good for erasing like detailed places. So I got a request to try to practice drawing 3D. But before we get started, I'm just gonna pull this up on my computer so I can see your guys' comments. How is everybody doing with all this craziness? We're all in our houses. How weird. I mean, I'm usually at home anyway, so it's not that different for me. All right, here's the video. And I'm gonna share it. If you know someone who would enjoy this, who would like to be drawing with us, then share it right now, and then they can join in. Let's see. Share on my timeline. Live now, drawing in 3D. Grab a pencil and join me. So I'm just giving you guys some time to get prepared. Actually, that's not true. I'm really just behind. And I have my mirror here. This is always so embarrassing. Hi. I don't know if you can see me properly, but instead of taking the whole deal off of the tripod here, I thought that this would be, look, actually maybe you can see what the setup is. See the duct tape? See? Okay. Hi. I could see it. It's a little bit of a delay on there, but we're up and we're running. So I hope you guys are all doing okay. I hope you guys are all healthy and happy. I'm starting to go a little bit nutty being shut in the house all the time, but that's when I just need to get outside, walk the dog, do something in the fresh air. That's a good idea, right? All right. Hi, Dana. And Gabby and Millie. Are you guys gonna draw with me? This is a little bit of a different type of a challenge. We're doing 3D today, but it's not as difficult as you would think if you do it step by step, and that's what we're gonna try to do. So I'm gonna start off with something quite simple, and actually my sister invented this. Hang on, I'm just gonna pull up another Facebook window because I don't think I'm seeing the one on my group, and I'm seeing the one on my personal page. Sorry, guys. All right, so let's start. This is something my sister invented when we were kids. My sister Estelle, she actually came up with a lot of cool things that have not been given enough credit. And so I'm gonna try to give her some credit here. Oh my gosh, what is happening? What am I doing? Okay, here we go. I love technology. All right. So what you're gonna do is, how many of you guys can write in lettres attachées? How do we say that? In cursive. How many of you can write in cursive? Because if you can write in cursive, then this will be pretty easy for you. If you can't write in cursive, you don't have to do this in cursive lettering, but it just looks so much prettier. I'm gonna write my name, but my name is quite large, so it's a little bit of a challenge. But if your name is short, this will work pretty easily. So very lightly, just write your name in cursive. So I'm gonna start with the M. I see how I'm not pressing hard at all? H E L L E. Okay. So this is just an intro to the 3D drawings that we're going to do today. But I thought this would be a good way to warm up. So once you've got that done, then you're going to trace around this as if you're drawing a balloon around the whole thing, okay? So going a little distance away, just draw around all of the lines of your name, okay? So like this. Whoops. Like this. Now, try not to go too close. It's tricky when you go into some of these curvy parts. Pretend that it's like the game Operation and you can't touch the side. Just do your best. Don't rush it. My name is long, like I said. Okay. Up and around here. Ooh, that part's tricky. And now here, it looks like I already traced that around, but I didn't. See? And done. There. So once you've done that, then you carefully erase the lines inside. Be very careful though, because it's easy to get mixed up and erase the outside lines. So what we're doing is essentially fancy bubble letters. And then we're going to make it look 3D. Oh, I forgot something. I forgot something important. If you have any letters like this, E-L-L-E, or even this part of the H, you have to do the inside of that too. I forgot to do the inside. Do the inside just like that. There. Now I'll keep going. That's better. You guys are so quiet. Nobody's saying anything. Did I freeze? I think my page froze. I guess you guys are all busy drawing, which is good. It's just the hard part about live videos. You just don't know. You don't know people's feedback. Oh, sorry. All right, so now that I have all of that done, oops, gotta erase that part too. You should have this really cool looking cursive bubble letter version of your name. And then we're gonna do something interesting, okay? See how we have vertical lines, and some of the vertical lines lead to the inside, and some of them, well, the side of this one is the outside and the side of this line is the inside. Do you know what I'm trying to say? This is the inside, this is the outside, okay? So on the left inside of every up and down line, you're going to shade. Okay, wait. Let's put this aside. Don't do it yet. Don't do anything yet. Let's put this drawing aside. We gotta back it up. Beep, 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 back it up. Before we do any of the shading, we gotta learn how to shade a little bit. So basically what shading is moving from a dark color to a light color gradual. So that's what we're gonna do for practice right now. So on your paper, just do a lightly scribble. And it's okay that it's like kind of almost all the same. Like all the same darkness. You don't have to worry too much about it yet. Just move to the side and then stop pressing so hard. As you move out, press less and the lines get lighter. See? Until it's almost nothing, and then it is nothing. Do you see how I did that? Then you go back to the darker side and do that again, pressing a tiny bit harder, especially at the beginning. And then as you move it, you can kind of see which parts are lighter and they need a bit more. But the trick is the pressure. Pushing harder makes it darker, pushing lighter makes it lighter. So gradually let the pressure of the pencil lighten and then it fades away, okay? So then the magic to this is when you take a Q-tip, you can also use your finger, which isn't ideal because your finger can sometimes be sweaty or oily, so that will leave just a bad smudge. But you can also use one of these. This is from like an art store. It's just a bunch of compressed paper, I guess. Or there's these ones which are really, really cheap. And they all work kind of the same. I like this one the most. But for today, I'll just use Q-tips just in case that's maybe what all that you guys have to work with. So start at the dark and start rubbing over the dark part. And you see what happens? Wow. And move to the right, or whichever direction yours gets lighter. And do the same, like press less when you go outward until there's nothing. Then you can go over again with the other end of the Q-tip if you want to. Find that this makes a nicer blend. But try not to go too far over there because this has lead on it and you could actually draw something. You could actually draw something with it. So if you're not careful, you could put dark smears out there. So just be careful. That's why I like to start always at the darkest part when I'm shading. You see? Now, if you were able to do that, doesn't that look great? If you were not able to do it, I would encourage you to give yourself another chance. Try it again. You color lightly and gradually you get darker. And that's how shading works. So shadows, you can even see shadows on my paper right now, which is actually a helpful example. Over here, we have some darker shadows, a little bit lighter, a little bit. See how that fades from dark to light? So that's exactly what I'm talking about. And items like this one, I don't know if you can see this. This is like a 3D heart barrette. So I'm not sure if you're seeing it at the same way I am, but if you see this part over here, it's dark, 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 and it gradually gets lighter and lighter and lighter, and there's even an explosion of light over here. There's a shadow in here. So using this technique, this shading technique, you can shade things more complex shapes. But we're not going to do anything too complex today. This is what we're going to try. If you're just joining now, the way that I did this was, it's an idea of my sister's actually from when we were kids. And you write your name, just regular, in cursive. Let's say, like my nephew, Sam, because his name is so short. I'll just start with a S, A, M. And what you do is, you trace around the letters like this. I'm going a little bit fast just for the sake of time. Carefully though, you trace all the way around. Oh, can't forget the inside of the A. Like that. And then you erase all the lines on the inside. Like that. Beautiful. So once you have this done, you have your name written out in fancy bubble letters, we are going to try to add some 3D effect to this. Now that might seem a little bit complicated for some of you, and it's really not that complicated if you're careful. So I was explaining before, we have all these lines, up and down lines, and we can see where the inside is. Like if I color in my name, let's just do this. Lightly shade, like very lightly, shade in the letters. This is going to help us just to realize what's inside and what's outside. Sorry, this will all make sense in a second. So many of the things that are involved in art are just visual to me, and so when I start explaining them out loud, I'm just like, am I being clear? I don't know if this is making sense because I've never actually said it out loud. I've just seen it. All right. So once you have that lightly shaded in, sorry, my name is long, and done. Oh, almost done. Beep. Okay, once you have that shaded in, you take your Q-tip and you can smudge it. It almost looks not visible, but it's like a light gray now. Yeah, this will be cool. This will be cool because I just realized what we can actually do. Thanks, Rachel. You love my brain having a mouth. Okay, good. It's trying to get from my brain out. I'm just doing my best here. All right, my Q-tip is getting a little wonky. If your Q-tip starts ripping apart, you can for sure get another one. If your mom will let you, I guess. Okay, so now we have all these vertical lines, right? So what you want to do, pay attention to this now. On the left inside of every up and down line, you're going to shade. Okay, so on the left inside, you're gonna do a little bit of shadow like that. On the left inside of this, you start it on a curve, you just start tiny and then it gets a little bit wider and then it stays wide the whole way down. Do you see how I did that? You do the shade. So on the left inside, not here, because that is the right inside. Do you get it? This is the right inside. On the left inside, that would be here. Not here. On the left inside, sometimes I have to think about it for a second, but I get it. On the left inside here. Okay, get a new Q-tip, Rachel. Okay, on the left inside of this one. On the left inside. Do you see what I'm trying to do here? A little bit here, a little bit here, here. It can get confusing. This one is not where we shade, but this part is right here. See, it's the left side. It's like the left side of these balloons. All right. On the left. To the left, to the left. So just take your time and shade in all of the left sides of the balloons. So by shading, I'm not talking about perfect shade yet. I'm just talking about these sort of scribble lines that I'm doing. See how they're still a little rough looking? That's okay. We're going to use our smudger and everything is going to look awesome after. Okay. Is this easy enough, guys? I hope this is not too complicated. Are you getting it? I'll take the silence as a yes because I think everybody's working. All right, on the left side, I got all my letters pretty much done. So now, let me see if this Q-tip is still all right. You take the tip of the Q-tip and you just smudge where your shadows are. You might have to lean the Q-tip a bit to the side because in order to get the puffy part, it seems like you don't want to just use that cardboard on the inside. You want the puffiness. That's why if you're serious about learning more drawing, you should get yourself some of these. I'll use some of these just because I'm more used to it. A little bit faster. See, it does pretty much the same thing, but it's a little bit more accurate. Just smudge it all around. Yes, for sure, Rachel. I will post this video right after, and then anybody who misses the beginning or whatever can also try it for themselves. It's really fun. Thank you, by the way. And once you get all of those smudged up real nice, you can go back across and if you want to add a little bit of a dark line, just kind of right on that line. See what I'm saying? You're just adding, remember what we did in the shading? How it's super dark over here? That's kind of just what you're adding. You're adding the more dark effect. this. Once I learned shading, because I used to draw, what I started out doing was faces. And once I learned shading and I learned about these things, oh man, everything got so much more fun. Because smudging pencil is just such a good way to make your drawing look more realistic. Okay, I am sorry if I'm taking a lot longer than you. So see, it's a little bit 3D. The smudgy pencils, I always called it a smudger, but it might be, there's probably a proper term for it. Maybe a blender. Hang on, just let me check. Pencil blender. I see pictures of them. Yeah, I think it's called a blender. Blending stumps. That's what I see. Okay, blending stumps is maybe what you could ask for. I don't know. Or search on Amazon. I'm just messily adding the darker parts. And that's about it. Okay, so as you can see, it kind of looks more... Oh wow, I forgot to put my phone on airplane. Hang on one sec. Guys, this might disconnect. Question, should I put my phone on airplane mode now? Because if I get a phone call, it will cut the live. What do you guys think I should do? There's a risk that if I put it in airplane mode, that it will just cut it off right now because it'll turn off the Wi-Fi. I don't know. If I disconnect, I'm very sorry. I'll just come right back on. If it loses connection, I'll come right back and you guys can just continue. Okay, so if you want to, you can go all the way around. Mine smudged out and kind of the lines kind of disappeared. So it would be nice to go back over it. Another thing you can do, if you want, is right in the middle of all these balloons, erase a little. And this would work even better if it was darker. Look, let me show you. Let's imagine that it's all darker like this. And then we smudge it in. But of course, if the whole thing was darker, that means my shadow has to be darker. That's what shading is. It's just layering and layering and layering and layering. And the more you layer, the more depth you can get. So let's just do this first letter darker like that. And then take the eraser and erase out parts of the middle. And then it really looks like a balloon. See? So that would be a cool way to start learning how to do 3D. And kudos to my sister Estelle for, I don't know, she invented that method, I guess. Making up the cool bubble letters. And so let's move on to something else. This is kind of an illusion that I saw someone do. And it's like a 3D illusion. A Sharpie would be a good thing to have for this, but if you don't have a Sharpie, you can just color kind of dark with the pencil. So we're gonna make a fake hole in the middle of the page. So just do an oval, lightly with your pencil. Try to draw an oval shape. Kind of like that. flip it upside down and it looks like a hole in the paper, Titus? Are you talking about like this hole that I'm doing right now? Or are you talking about this? I'm not sure what he means. Okay. He's in the next room. I guess he could just come and tell me, but... Okay, so inside this hole, you're going to come down, like put a point however low you want the inside wall to go. And you're gonna just draw a curved line that follows this line down here. Okay. Like this. Oh, flip the Michelle. Oh, so you're saying it makes it look indented? Huh. Or are you talking about flipping it over? No. Ah, yeah, it's true. You can do 3D things that look like they're coming up out of the paper, or you can draw 3D things that look like they're indented in the paper. So this one, the name that we drew looks like it's coming up out of the paper like bubbles, but this one is gonna look like it's indented. So just do that line. Hi, Tanner. Do that line that goes following this top line. Like that. Now this would be the abyss. So you can either take your pencil and color in the whole thing, or you can use a Sharpie. I'm gonna use a Sharpie. This is probably gonna go through onto my other beautiful smudging shading work, but that's okay. So we want this as dark as possible. If you just have a pencil, just make it as dark as you can, and then smudge it. Smudge it. I don't have any time lapse for you guys, so I'm just trying to do this fast. All right, there is the abyss inside the paper. So now we have this inside wall, and remember how we did the dark to light? Where'd it go? There it is. Remember how we did this? From dark, light, getting lighter, getting lighter, getting lighter, all the way to light. We're gonna do the same thing inside here. Almost exactly the same way. So we're starting dark on this side, and it's gonna move and get all the way lighter over here. But first, you just sort of color evenly without pressing too hard. Try to make it as uniform as possible. I should mute that. Sorry, guys. And I think right about halfway, it kind of fades out into white. So we're pushing less and less and less and less until nothing. Okay, it already starts to look like, it's starting to look like it's a hole in the paper or in the table or something. So now we go back over, starting at the darkest side. Oops, I went out of the line a bit. So we're pressing harder now, and then gradually decrease your pressure. decrease, decrease, decrease. Like that. And now you take your smudger or your Q-tip and smudge. You can do circular motions or straight back and forth, whatever you want. Just be careful to press less as you get closer to the middle. See, I just lightened my pressure and now the smudging is even lighter. Let me show you the wrong way to do this. It would be, maybe you have your and then you take the Q-tip do you see? That doesn't really have the same effect because I pressed really hard the whole way over. But it works really good if you sort of just press hard where it's supposed to be dark and then keep watching what you're doing the whole time. And then gradually get lighter. You've got to have some patience for this. And then, if you want to, you can use your finger for larger areas. And yeah, that's about it. There's a hole in the ground. Does that look like a hole? I'm not sure. I've seen a lot of people do lines, and then the lines, like they take a ruler and they do lines to the edge and then continue on the other side. Yeah, they just sort of make it like it's as if it's a piece of lined paper that has a sinkhole in the middle. I've seen a lot of those tutorials because the lines help with the 3D effect. So you just sort of draw the line over to the edge and continue on the other side. And there's another one here. Whoops. I'm not using a ruler, so it's not that great. Am I still in frame? All right. How's everybody doing? Are you guys bored? I mean, hopefully not right now, you're not, but in general, without school, and it's super strange, hey? But I say, at least there's drawing. Because drawing has been a lifesaver for me so many times in my life. Alright, so now we usually would put the lines all the way down, but okay, well I'll at least do a couple more. So now, because the lines have sunk into the circle, this line sunk in on this other side, so we can't see it. This one, probably can't really see that one either. This one, we could see it. So now we put vertical lines where the lines sink in. Oh, it's not visible. And this one. I think I'm doing this right. Like that. And do a little curve so it looks like it sunk in. There. That's kind of what I saw online. So, pretty cool, pretty fun. And yeah, I'm looking at it through the screen. It does kind of look like there's a hole in the paper. All right, so now we're going to draw one more thing in 3D. And what we're gonna draw is a realistic, like ultra realistic water droplet, as if a drop of water landed on my paper. So you get a clean piece of paper. Now that you know how to do, now that you know how to do this shading from dark, gradually getting lighter, we're gonna use that technique and we're gonna do a realistic looking water droplet. Are you ready? I can't hear you. Crickets. You have to make the cricket sound. Okay, I'll just imagine that you guys are following along. So the way that we do this is first, oh, he's gonna step out. Okay, thanks. First, you're going to draw a small, well, it'll be kind of big. This will be like a big image of a tiny water droplet, okay? Because I don't think a water droplet this big would necessarily look this way. But let's draw it about, I don't know, an inch big. Just so that we can get the details really good. So this is the water droplet. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle because water droplets aren't usually perfect circles. So just work on it and try to make it satisfactory. Like that. So once you have a circle, then you're going to do we're going to start from dark over here and we're going to get lighter over here. So you're going to do like a very light half moon or sliver moon over here. So all of this pretty much is going to be dark. So just start not too dark yet, but color that in, because this is going to be the darker side of your water droplet. Try to do smooth strokes and press the same amount as you need to make all the strokes kind of look the same. And now come a little bit beyond with a very light scribble, smudgy line, see? That's gonna help this to smudge together properly. We don't want to see the line. Hopefully you didn't press too hard. If you pressed too hard, then either maybe try to cover it, or you could just do another. But the point is, we want it to gradually get from dark to light. Now I'm gonna do what we did in the bubble letters, and I'm gonna do a light coloring in of the whole thing. I hold at the end of my pencil when I do this because it helps me to not push hard. If you're doing this like here, this is how I hold my pencil when I want to push hard. But if you want your pencil to be light, like a feather, hold it at the end and just let it. You'll get used to doing this with more control as you practice, but this is how I'm coloring it all in. Okay, so it doesn't look super good yet. But what we need to do is smudge. So if you take your Q-tip, I thought I had another Q-tip here. Mine are getting used up. Maybe this side will work. Because you really need the cottony part. You don't want to use the, you don't want to push this part into your drawing. I'm noticing that the Q-tip wears out really fast. So maybe I'll just use this. Okay. So get a fresh Q-tip if you can. Or if yours is okay, then that's good. So remember, we press harder on the darker part only, and then we gradually press lighter, really lightly. I love smudging with my finger just because it gives such a good uniform smudge, and I'll show you how I do that, but I'm gonna dry my finger off really good with this fabric eraser stuff on my shirt, and I'm just gonna smudge that in gently. See how nice that looks? For certain broad areas, using your finger works best. Okay, so it's looking a little bit better. It's looking a little bit more smooth for sure. So now what we want to do is we want to take our eraser, actually. I'm gonna put this a little bit darker. You kind of want the whole thing to be like gray. We're gonna take our eraser, and I'm gonna try it with this one just because it's so tiny. And you're gonna do little tiny ovals over here. So I'm gonna erase one, and then another one below, a little bit bigger maybe, like that, and then maybe a third, because the way that light hits a droplet is always different. It's never really the same. It depends on what's in the room for light and reflection. So there we go. And now I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to erase even more, but over on the light side. So I'm going to put a bright spot over here. And even maybe like a half moon. Like that. So it's looking a little bit better. And now I want you to take your pencil, and around these bubbles, these little shine bubbles, you can make that part even darker. Especially around the very edge. That's gonna make it like pop off the paper. And try to get those little shine bubbles kind of perfect. You can just work at it. Usually there's a strong, defined line on the edge, see? Now let's take this strong line and make a line around the other edge, not as dark, but a fine line, as perfect as you can. And the line doesn't have to be the same exact thickness all the way around, because it's a water droplet, so there are little imperfections in the way the light hits and so on. Okay, so it's looking a little bit more like a water droplet, I think. Now, one thing that really makes this thing stand out is when we put the shadow. So to do the shadow, we're going to do another sort of a half moon shape like this one, but on the outside of the bubble. So from here, just do like a little sliver moon. Light drawing. Don't press hard for this. See how it looks like a little moon? Just draw that shape there, and then just shade it in. We're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to shade it in, and then we're going to smudge it. Hi Sophia, hi Amanda, hi Danielle. Welcome, one and all. We're kind of coming to the end of this tutorial, but I'm going to post it right away after, and then whoever wants to can try as many times as they want to. Okay, so I'm getting the shading. So this is the shadow. I guess it could be a little darker. The trick with shading is subtlety. And subtlety means when the changes and the differences in something are not super drastic or strong. So when you're coloring in something, you have to be very subtle with the way that you do your strokes, if that makes any sense. Okay, so this doesn't look amazing yet, but we need to smudge this. You take your smudger or you take your Q-tip. Smudge it out, and it's kind of nice if it has a bit of a foggy edge for the shadow. I'm gonna use my finger for this. You can even make some shadow all the way around if you want to, but not as dark, obviously. Maybe that shadow is a little bit too big, I'm not sure. Smudge it in. Now a neat thing is to put a little bit of light coming through with your eraser. Just erase part of the inside, so you're making a tinier moon shape within this shadow, because the shadow, I guess, the way that it works scientifically is like the top part of the bubble makes a darker shadow than the inside. The light goes through, and so anyways, I'm no science person. Wow, I'm making myself sound so dumb right now. Okay, so smudge that in. So there we go. Now, if you look at your paper close up, maybe it doesn't really look that good, but if you step back, it looks like a water droplet. I'm seeing one mistake here. I can see a really strong line here. I'm just gonna fade that out a bit. But other than this, I think it kind of looks like a water droplet. What do you guys think? Did I go too fast? Were you able to do it? If you're just watching, that's fine too. But you should give this a try if you never have. It's really cool. Just some extra last minute touches. I saw a drawing like this, and the person did a whole bunch of all different sized water droplets all around. So it was really neat. And you just use the exact same technique, and some of them were even like really tiny. So here, I'll do one more here. I'll just sort of rush it. Like this. The dark side. For Star Wars fans. Smudging it is what miraculously makes it the best. Now, if you do more than one water droplet, I would suggest that you try to make the little shines look similar, because they're like in the same, they're reflecting the light in the same way. So they should be like the same. Oh. These almost look like little faces. Little shadow there. And now I erase. Like that. How's that look? Maybe a bit darker over here. Oh no, I spilled water on my paper. Oh. Maybe it doesn't look that real. But that is my best take at drawing water droplets. So give it a try, guys. It's a really good starter on 3D drawing. And even eyes, like there's similarities to drawing eyes in this too, with the way that the shine hits and so on. So now you know how to do shading like this. Shading is just from dark to light, and this was what we did. If you're just joining recently, we did a hole in the paper. We learned about the wrong way to shade, and bubble letters. So I will post this video and you can give it all a try. How long have I been? Let me see here. Is there a place that tells me? I don't even know. Oh, I've been just about 1 hour. So I think that's a good place to cut this off. And thank you so much, guys, for joining in on this tutorial on how to draw things in 3D. And if you want to, you can see other videos of mine like this. Well, not this slow. This is a really in-depth tutorial, but I do other tutorials on my YouTube channel called The Art Club. So if you haven't checked that out before, you can do that. And I'm also going to be doing more videos like this one during this quarantine, however long it's going to last. And so if you have ideas, this 3D tutorial was a suggestion. If you have a suggestion on what you'd like to learn, then just tell me, drop me a line, and I will try my best to come up with something that works. I'm sorry if I'm not seeing your comments. If you're commenting, it might be that it's frozen on one of my windows here. But maybe people they're just not talking to me. That's probably it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I had a really great time, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you give this a try. Give yourself a chance. If you tried and it absolutely stinks, then you know what? give yourself another try, because I think that you should give yourself at least 100 chances to be able to do something really well. That's just my thought. I've been practicing drawing for years and years now, and I'm still practicing, so yeah, give yourself more than one chance, people. So many kids, they'll try one thing and they come to me and they're like, I can't. I'm like, well, you can. I believe in you. So give yourself a chance. I love you guys. I will see you on the next video. Bye.